Hi and welcome to another video analysis with the dead ball area and Rugby Dump coaching. This week we're going to continue our look at the Saracens defence, but where last time we focused on standard phase play defence, this time we're going to look at exit strategies and also how under Paul Gustard the Saracens defence is impacting on the current England team. Now when we think of defence, we naturally think of how we close down an opposition attack, but a key part in any team's defensive strategy is what to do when you have the ball in your own danger zone. And this is often referred to as an exit strategy. Now, while a lot of teams use exit strategies to effectively clear their lines, Saracens will often use it as a way of turning defence into attack or moving into a more strategically advantaged area of the pitch. In a semi-final win against Leicester, we got an excellent example of how Saracens use their defensive kick chase to pressurise the opposition. Leicester kicked deep from the kick-off and Saracens make a mistake by letting it go into touching their own 22. And why is this a mistake? Well, because it offers Leicester a chance to compete for the ball, so now they need to work on an exit strategy. They throw to two in the line out and Rhodes gets up and down quickly, with the rest of the pack setting to maul or release the ball to Wigglesworth. And there are a couple of things that are key here. This area of the pitch is often referred to as coffin corner, due to how hard it is to exit with any advantage to the defending team. And this is because right-footed kickers naturally have a smaller angle to work with. This is why we so often see teams run one or two phases infield to create a better angle for their kicker. But Wigglesworth is a left-footed kicker, so Saracens don't need to do this. But watch how they load to the left of the maul to give him more protection and ultimately time. This also means those loosely bound forwards are free to chase as the second wave of defenders behind the kick chaser. In real time it's only a fraction of a second, but it's enough to make an impact. Now traditionally the kick chase takes the shape of the whole team coming forward together to set a defensive wall across the pitch, but Saracens actually send a cluster of players ahead of the main line to create a congested channel around the kick receiver. The idea is to force the kick receiver or infield player back into that channel, whilst the secondary line organises as they come up. Now as we can see here, the winger, in this case Ashton, comes up the touch line, and then a tight first and second receiver in Barrett and Farrell come from wide to narrow from the open side. Now dependent on numbers they will also send a shooter up the middle to shut down the second passed option. As we can see here, Ashton, Barrett and Farrell all get into a tight formation and Taylor comes flying up the middle and pressures Varno into a mistake. Now the Tigers tidy up, but an extra moment of time means the defensive line is up and set and Owen's only real option is to kick and hope. Now let's run forwards and look at another kick chase. This time we can see the corner is the bad side for Wigglesworth, so instead Farrell takes on the clearing duties and kicks high and across field. We again see this tight formation shooting up ahead in the receiver's channel. And Gonover moves the ball infield to Tate, but where that last time Taylor shot out the line, Tate comes back to the chasing channel, looking for Gonover to give him the high ball option. He realises too late this isn't going to happen and takes the contact. It's a poor decision by Tate, as there's lots of space, one more pass out. Saracens have gone 22 to halfway in one kick, and now as Tigers recycle, we see, even though their attacking shape is poor, they have the numbers on Saracens. So as before, Cruz shoots out the line and stops them another 10 metres behind the gain line, and Leicester are forced into kicking the ball long. Good runs it back and actually makes a mistake, but we can see the impact that Saracens' exit strategies are having on the opposition. Now what's really interesting is how this is now seeping into the England setup. With Gustard coming into the setup, there was always going to be some cross-belief between Saracens and England, but how much and how integral the Saracens players are to this became increasingly apparent as the first and second test of England's tour to Australia unfolded. In the first test we saw England repeatedly kick back to this left touchline, pulling Flower and Foley into this narrow channel. Again we see wingers up on the touchline, wide to narrow chase pattern, and here Flower is met with four men. And all this comes together for Joseph's try. Australia kick off and England work an exit. And again we see the out to in chasers and the winger coming up on the outside. But this time also watch Owen Farrell, who like Taylor in the clip before, comes straight up the middle to pressure the next man in, which is Foley. Flower goes infield with a poor pass, and Foley puts it down. Farrell and Joseph come through, knocking Foley flying for his trouble. Karevi under pressure makes a hash of the clean-up and the rest is history. It's obviously not a pre-planned play, but as with everything, the decision-making of when to press and when not is key, and it allows England on this occasion to generate the pressure they need. Again, in general play, we see the defensive press take on a similar shape to Saracens. In the first test, we saw Haskell flying out of the line to smash Pocock, And in the second test, England's relentless line speed allowed them to sustain over 20 phases of the Wallabies' attack. As we can see here, they feel they've been outnumbered to shoot up. And again here with Ford closing off the corner. It's about creating a defensive rhythm, and we can see, like Saracens, once England settle into the flow of the attack, it's very difficult to break them down. Ideally, Australia should have switched back against the flow of defence a lot earlier to stop the England team folding around and generating that line speed. It's heroic stuff from England, and I think we can really see the depth of the influence Gustard and the Saracens core has on the team. And again, I think this is further illustrated with Burrell in the first test, whose team Northampton Saints ran a drift defence, struggling to settle into his role. As England and Saracens progress under two different coaches, it will be interesting to see how the defensive systems diverge and whether that cross-talk between club and country continues. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube.